Everybody, we're going to have a little, very similar workout to what we did on Monday and Tuesday of this week, in which there's basically 5 components, and this workout will take about 30 minutes. So there's just want to encourage you guys to create a schedule in your day that includes 30 minutes of this, okay? And if it's something else, we need to communicate about what that something else is. Okay, maybe you got something at home, or you fell in love with a different plant. Let's talk about that. And there's different ways to talk about that through email, Google Meet, Google Office, or office hours, all those kinds of things. But let's get started with today's workout. Okay. So first off, what we're going to do is we're going to start with a warm up. Okay. And our warm up is simply going to be just 2 things. But the first thing is going to be 2 minutes of light cardio. And all that is to simply get blood flowing. So when I say light cardio, it could be a 2-minute, just jog around your house. It literally could be jogging in place. It could be jumping jacks in place. It could be, mountain climbers on the ground. But it's just something to just get blood flow to muscle groups throughout the entire body. That 2 minutes of cardio isn't designed to be strenuous. It's conversational cardio, and so it's a way you're not actually physically exhausted. You can actually talk while you're doing it. So just 2 minutes of that. One thing that you could do for 2 minutes of light cardio, if you choose to go for a jog and you want to get outside, or if it's not pouring down rain and you want to do that, it's simply on a stopwatch or on your phone, 1 minute and then 1 minute back. It's real simple. It could be you kind of figure out what that 1 minute is. It could just be in the mailbox and back, or it could be around the block once, or whatever it may be. So 2 minutes of light cardio. The second thing that we're going to do for our warm-up is going to be basic air squats, something that we did yesterday. We want to make sure that we understand that feet just get a little bit more than hip width, or a little bit more than shoulder width. Our toes are always pointed forward, and the reason we want to make sure our toes are pointed forward and not out like maybe like a penguin would is your knees will always track the direction that your toes are pointed. So we want to make sure our knees are over our toes, and that our toes are going straight aligned with our body and not going out. That will then, if we are going out, that will train our quads unequally. So we want to make sure we're doing 1 minute of air squats with our feet going forward, and thus our knees landing on top of our knees are on top of our toes at the bottom of our air squat. Okay, so 1 minute of air squat. Right now is when I want you to go ahead and pause the video and just do a very, very brief 3 to 4 minute. Okay, we're going to go ahead now and get into our muscle-specific exercises. We have 3 of them for you today. Our first one is going to be alternating lunges. So we're going to work our legs a little bit. Okay. But what I want you to do is I want you to grab a household product or household item to basically put on your back. I've got a piece of PVC pipe here. Obviously, a lot of people don't have a PVC pipe laying around your house, so that's probably not the best example. But maybe it's a broomstick. Okay. And so this was connected to a mop. I disconnected the mop part, but we want to basically be able to put it behind our neck. And what that does is that basically flexes the upper part of our back. So now our spine is in a straight line, and our chest is up. So that keeps our chest up, so we're not going to hunch over. So we want to keep our chest up and simply wrap our arms around this broomstick or whatever type of stick you want to put back there. And we're simply going to alternate lunges from right and then to left. What we want to make sure we do is we take as big a step possible, okay? And that makes sure that front knee does not go past your front toe. If we take too short of a step, then that front knee will go past our front toe, and that puts our knee in a bad position. Okay? So we want to make sure we take as big a step possible when doing alternating lunges. And we want to use a broomstick. We want to use something behind our back to keep our chest up, and that just flexes our lats or our upper back. Okay? So that's our first exercise. Our second exercise is going to be for our upper body. It's going to be for our back in particular, and we're going to go back to some basic rows. Okay, we did this on Monday. Maybe we learned, how to do it the best way possible, or what, household item you're going to use for resistance. So again, you could use a cooler. A cooler can be filled with something, could be a textbook or something like that. Even if you didn't want to fill it full of some type of food, but this could simply be a one-arm row where we're bent over. We want to try to get into our upper back. And again, it's very creative. You could find something else in the garage. You could find something else in your bedroom. But whatever that object is, it could be a single arm row. But if it's a bigger item, maybe just because that's what you got, then it could be a two-arm row. Okay? So if it were something, bigger in size, maybe a bigger cooler or something else, that's when we can also have a two-arm row as well, based on what the item is. Okay? If you had to choose, you would choose something for one arm. And a single arm dumbbell row, or not dumbbell, a single arm row will allow you to bring the item a little bit to the outside of your body. So you're able to get it higher, so you're able to flex or contract your lat or your upper back even more. So you're able to pull it that much further. Okay? So if you could choose a single. Our third and final exercise today is going to be a basic old school calf raise. Okay? So we're getting into our calf muscle. And you may or may not need something to put your hand on for balance. It could just be as simple as the wall or a couch, or it could be whatever it may be. But you don't necessarily need to have resistance for this, in which you're basically going to stay. You're going to get on your toes. You're going to stay there. So you're going to be simply going to come up. You're going to contract your calf as tight as you possibly can, and then come back up. Okay. Your best idea is to pause at the top, anywhere from 1 to 3 seconds, and then simply come back down again. Okay. If this is super easy for you, basically you're doing both at the same time with your body weight, you can simply choose just one. You can go up with one calf at a time, lift up one leg, and simply come up and down, do a single leg calf raises. Okay. If you can, I can't demonstrate for you here, but if you can elevate your feet, maybe it's on the steps of your house. If you have steps in your house, that's the best one to do it on, but I'm not going to stand on this cooler because it will break. But that way you're able to then get your heel lower than your toe at the bottom of a calf raise. And then that will stretch your calf at the very bottom, and then allow a bigger full range of motion, or a larger range of motion when you do a calf raise. Okay, so those are our three exercises today, or body muscle-specific exercises that we're going to do. So now is the time we're going to go ahead and pause. Just take about 15 seconds here and have the pause button on. But this will probably take you anywhere from as little as 5 to as many as 6, 7, 8 minutes. Okay, so what we're going to do now when we get into our core, okay, we're going to have 2 exercises for our core, and we're going to go back and forth between these 2 exercises. Okay, so what we're going to have, we're going to need a clock for this one. So we're going to put 4 minutes on the clock, and we're going to do an exercise for 20 seconds, the second exercise for 20 seconds, and then you're going to get 20 seconds of rest. And then you're going to repeat that process 4 times for 4 minutes. Okay? So the two exercises that we're going to end up doing is one for our front, and the second one's going to be for our back side. So when we're on our front side, we're simply doing a leg lift. Okay? So we're going to lift our toes off the ground about 6 inches. We're going to lift our upper body or our back We're going to hold that for about 20 seconds. So if I had the clock going, whatever my watch is, I would be in this position for 20 seconds. And then once that 20 seconds has expired, I instantly go right to a Superman, okay? And I would hold a Superman for 20 seconds. So now I'm into my back side of my core. I'm contracting my lower back into my lower body as well. And then I would rest for 20 seconds. And then that would repeat 4 times, okay? So 20, 20, 20 for 4 times. So let's go ahead and pause right now, pause the video, and get 4 minutes of core work done. Okay, so today, for our 4th section here, our superset cardio, we're going to alternate back and forth between alternating lunges and burpees. Okay, so we're going to do, whether you can grab a broomstick again that's close by from earlier, but that's the reason why we did it earlier is kind of lead us into superset cardio. But we're going to go ahead and do a specific amount, it'll be listed here for you obviously, but do a specific amount of alternating lunges, okay, and then instantly put this stick down and then go into a timed amount of burpees. So we were used to using the clock or our watch or our phone for our core work, but now we're going to use that same clock now for our superset cardio. So we're going back and forth between alternating lunges and then a set amount of time for burpees, and then we repeat ourselves over and over and over again. Okay? And then we're going to ask you to fill something out in our weekly log as far as how you did in this superset cardio. Okay, so let's go ahead and pause the video, and we'll come right back here in a little bit to cool down. This is the most important part of our workout right now, is superset cardio. Okay, guys, now we're gonna get back now into a cool down mode. I'd imagine your heart is racing pretty good. At least I hope it would be. But again, superset cardio is the most important part of this routine. Now we're gonna go ahead and cool down. When we cool down, it's not necessarily just catching your breath and relaxing. Really focus and pay attention to feeling a muscle stretch and feeling it stretch like a rubber band. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to get back into our hamstrings, and we're going to spend 2 minutes per hamstring. And the reason why we go so long is so over that 2 minute time frame, your muscle is going to get a little bit longer and a little bit longer and a little bit longer. So you have to be able to adjust as the time progresses. So we're going to go 2 minutes a hamstring. Best thing to do is to simply have one leg kind of bent, and in the middle of that, say I'm going left leg here. But it's really important that you reach with your opposite hand just as much as you would the same side hand, okay? So both right and left touching either the knee or the shin or the toe, or working our way down the foot, whatever it may be. But by getting both hands involved, now we're obviously stretching our lower back at the same time, okay? And hamstring and glute, lower back, all connected. And you want to be able to make that muscle group as long as possible. Okay, and stretch it and make it long as possible. That's where people increase their speed, and everything else involved. So we want to be able, for 2 minutes, be able to get down there. If you can get your nose down your toe, that'd be awesome, right? And then we'd obviously switch to the other side and get the right side in for 2 minutes. We're also going to stretch our quadriceps for 2 minutes a quad, okay? So if you were to, I'm going to go ahead and sit. We're going to start on our right quad, and just obviously the left leg is straight. But we want to be able to glue the knee to the ground. We don't want any space in between. So we want to be able to glue the knee to the ground. We want to be able to, if you can, put the top part of your foot on the floor. And so now we're actually not just stretching our quad, we're also stretching the top part of our foot, and we're strengthening it to maybe potential not roll an ankle in the future. Okay, so we're going to try and get the bottom of our foot, or excuse me, the top part of our foot on the ground as well. Okay. Now, as when we go back to stretch our quad, it's very important that our shoulders are even. You're going to want to have one shoulder higher than the other, but you want to be able to go back equally. Okay, so whether it be you get on your palms like I am here, maybe you work your way down to your elbows or neck. Maybe you're able to put your entire your lats and your shoulders all even on the ground. That's fantastic too. Okay, so we want to be able to stretch each quad for 2 full minutes. Okay, so let's today go ahead and pause the video and get to our cool down and get to our stretching of 8 minutes in length. Okay, guys, so again, good job today. But again, I really want to stress just a couple things here. Create a daily schedule that includes 30 minutes of PE. And that's just simple for your physical health, but it's also too for your mental health. So we want to make sure that we pre-plan those 30 minutes. Okay. Again, these workouts are designed to be indoors and with no equipment. So these workouts are designed, they could be done in your bedroom, your living room, your garage, and you don't necessarily need anything. I guess today you needed a broomstick. Again, workouts will be about 30 minutes and they'll include 5 sections. Okay. If you have any questions at all, if you're doing something different and you want to kind of talk about what that is, email, office hours, Google Meets, all those kinds of things are available. All right. Hope all's well.